The following program is a special presentation brought to you by WXOW 19.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for our half-hour special on the Jefferson Awards.
We honor local people going above and beyond to do good, making their communities better places to live.
And tonight we'll look back on past winners, share their stories, and hopefully inspire you to go out and volunteer.
Boys on this side. Oh, and here's some girl stuff. I'll put that over here.
The clothing closet at the La Crescent United Methodist Church is actually more of a clothing room.
We have a rack that we have all our new clothes in.
Most items here have been hand-picked and purchased by Carol Plengy.
Try to go and hit the sales. So we try to keep the clothes updated and go from kindergarten through high school.
Carol's had to keep up with the trends over the past 12 years.
I have found out these are the most popular pants.
But she wasn't the first one to start the clothes closet.
I took over from my daughter.
And she isn't the only one who makes it a success.
A gentleman came to the church and he wanted to redo it and surprised my daughter when she was gone one time. So he brought in all the white shelves that he made. He thought it should look like a store rather than a rummage sale.
Carol also organizes a back-to-school night every August so children can pick out that crucial first day of school outfit. Last year, they served nearly 70 children. She makes sure each child gets a new outfit.
They feel so much better about themselves, when they have something new on. It fits in with the rest of their peers. It makes for a better day for them in school.
Volunteering has been a passion of Carol's since her 4 daughters were little.
It kind of went along with my growing family.
Now, she gets to help other growing families with their growing children find clothing that fits and feels good.
This is something that I can do, and God is leading me on the way to do it.
Hello there, how are you guys?
Jody Swenson knows a thing or two about hardship.
When I got divorced in 2000, it was my daughter and I. Our first year was a little bit rocky. I was making $7.50 an hour at the job that I had at that point. So trying to pay rent and take care of life was a little bit rocky.
Besides being given the basic necessities from a local organization when she needed it, she was also given something else.
Someone handmade Barbie clothes and gave them to us for Christmas that year for my daughter. And it just touched me so much that someone would, take the time to sew these for someone that they didn't even know.
And that stuck with her all these years later. When Jody was back on her feet, she started volunteering because that's what she always did with her mother growing up. And when her father retired, he started driving a school bus.
One of his absolute favorite things to do is if he saw someone get on the bus who didn't have a proper raincoat or didn't have a winter coat or didn't have a pair of boots or mittens, he would go into the Salvation Army and purchase those items for that family. So I grew up with 2 parents who very much set an example of making sure your neighbors are covered.
And Jody set the example for her daughter.
She didn't have a babysitter or whatever, and so, hey, come to this event and help out. And I have learned to love what she does more, so now that I know a lot more. And so now I'm also a part of the Builders Association doing volunteering as well.
The Builders Association has 200 members, and almost half are active volunteers.
Thanks for coming tonight.
The group does everything from sponsoring families over the holidays, helping the homeless, and giving away thousands of dollars to area high school teachers in need of supplies. Alex and Jolene Goodman also volunteer with the Builders Association, and they nominated Jody for the Jefferson Award.
When I think of a volunteer, that's the first person I think of. She makes other people want to jump in and get involved because that's just the type of person she is. You want to emulate her. Anytime we need a helping hand, it's always Jody. She's always there with a smile on her face.
Jody believes there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to volunteering, and any little bit helps.
Honestly, it's amazing what you can accomplish when you put your mind to it for an hour.
She says your time helps the person on the receiving end, but it also delivers a sense of pride and purpose to the volunteer.
I would like to think that I made a positive impact in someone's life. It doesn't have to be everyone's life, but I would like someone out there to know that I had their back when they needed someone to have their back.
Many call this God's country, and a day like today is just apparent.
On this gorgeous summer day, Paul Ernst is dealing with things that aren't so pretty.
I know God would want us to take care of God's country better.
He's picking up trash along the side of the road. It's something he does just about every evening for as long as he can remember.
My wife and I love to walk. As we're walking around on Alaska, I just picked up a piece of garbage one day, and then another piece of garbage, and pretty soon I can't carry any more. And then the next time I just brought a small bag, and I filled up that small bag. Bag
after bag and hundreds of pounds of garbage, all on his own. Paul has been known to spend 7 or 8 hours out here.
Probably a healthy addiction and a passion.
And he's always thinking about it.
I should probably do a better job of looking at the road when I drive, but I just can't help but look at all the garbage. I don't always just stop. I don't have time to and it's maybe not safe just to wing over on the interstate and pick up trash, but I mark that, and then I do my best to go back later and pick it up.
It started as a child, growing up in Chicago.
Going back to when I was a kid, my dad and my grandpa owned a print shop in downtown Chicago, and I used to go down there occasionally on the weekends and help clean his shop. And I remember just whether we would drive down or take the train, I just remember all the trash. It might be too late for areas like that, but it's not too late for this area.
Paul has participated in the local Mississippi River cleanup for the past 25 years. And he's found some pretty interesting items over those years.
I have found some things that I have kept. I found a really nice LED light, like really, really nice one, and I took it home and I was like, hey, this thing works, So I'm not out here doing this for the pay. I don't get paid. However, I found money. I found $1 bill. I found a $10 bill, but it was all ripped up.
He's even inspiring friends and family.
Wife and I was talking one evening. We were driving up the hill and seeing all the garbage, and I said, if Paul was living on this road, there wouldn't be a stick of garbage on it. I was never a recycler. I never really picked up garbage. I seen what he'd done. Now my wife and I are picking up trash along the road.
And he hopes to inspire you one day as well.
It just feels good, and I know we can't pick it all up, but the more people that do it, it's just so much easier.
For now, you'll find him out here working to keep this little slice of heaven a bit cleaner for all of us to enjoy.
All I can say is that when you do it, you will smile when you're done.
We like to have color coordinated.
Sorting and organizing clothes comes easy for Marlene and Sarah.
We've seen some unique vintage clothing. That's been fun.
They just go above and beyond. We just have a ball and they just do a lot.
For them, volunteering at the Root and Crown on Copeland Avenue isn't work. It's fun.
It is really fun to see what people donate, what they give away. Kind of surprising sometimes, too, what they give away and what they think other people would like.
At Root and Crown, when you shop, you can choose a local nonprofit that some of your money goes towards. And when you volunteer here, your hours go toward your own nonprofit as well.
I wanted to earn income for Heart to Heart, and so I started volunteering here, and we've earned thousands of dollars.
Heart to Heart helps income-eligible families take care of their pets, an organization Marlene and Sarah are a part of.
And that's truly how they raise the money for their group, is by coming in and volunteering. As they're here, we promote them more at the till, which increases their sales, and the more hours that they volunteer, the higher percentage rate that they get back of their sales.
Since the store opened in 2017, Heart to Heart has earned more than $16,000 with the help of volunteers like Marlene and Sarah.
There's a really good feeling about giving back. That in itself is so fulfilling.
Whether you're here to shop or volunteer, one thing is clear. The store and women like these two are making a difference.
It only takes a little time here and there, and it means so much, especially in a Root and Crown that gives back to the community. You can carve out just a couple hours here and there.
For now, these women will keep giving back to a store that's giving back to the community, one shopper and volunteer at a time.
When we come back, we'll share more stories of exceptional volunteers.
So we got pencils.
Teresa Howes is getting ready to ship these school supplies overseas. She purchases, packages, and mails it to children in West Africa.
I've always been a giver my whole life.
Teresa established the Teresa Howes Foundation in 2016. Her goal, to help children with medical and education expenses. Her passion for giving started at a young age.
I've always been like a giver. You know, even going to school, if I have candy, I would give all my candy away and not have nothing for myself. That's just the type of person that I am. I'd rather see a smile on somebody's face. There's really no middle class. You either have money or you don't. So there's a lot of children who are not getting an education. They're on the streets selling food, trying to help their parents. And you're talking about a city like the size of New York City.
Teresa buys most of what she gives with her own money.
I don't ask for donations.
And out of the goodness of her heart, helping kids near and far find their future.
I want to go back to school again.
Whatever I can do, if it may not be everything, but I can at least give something.
First stop is here. That's
Mike Desmond is on his Monday morning route delivering mobile meals.
I've developed relationships with people on all the routes because I fill in on all the routes, but this is getting to be one of my favorites because I'm getting to know all the people.
The people on the route need these meals for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's because they can't leave their homes or they can't make the food themselves. That's where Mike comes in.
Mobile meals.
He got started through the Rotary Club when they needed members for their Mobile Meals Committee. That was 20 years ago. Today, he keeps delivering, and it's not just the food. It's a way to check up on people and check in with them.
Okay, have a good day. Just that social contact with people is super important, and so there's a lot of little side benefits, I think.
Mike keeps doing it, yes, because people need it, but also for what he's getting out of it.
The end of a delivery, it's like made my day. I feel better about my day because I did it.
Mike also has a strong passion for mental health. He's the current chair of the board of the La Crosse Mental Health Coalition, working to destigmatize mental illness. The group, most notably, helped the police department with their crisis intervention training.
That was really important because in a mental health crisis, they're often the first ones on the scene.
Whether it's mental health or mobile meals, Mike is volunteering his time and energy to causes he cares about, something he believes we are all meant to do.
I've learned through experience that I think we're all called to serve others. And sometimes we don't always answer the call or listen to the call, but I really believe we're all called to make a difference in other people's lives. And unfortunately, we get wrapped up in our own lives that we may miss that call.
He goes all out, he goes all in, and he brings all the rest of us with him.
Bringing people together, one step, one meal, one service at a time.
Good to see you, my friend.
Day.
You too, Arlen.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Take care. Enjoy.
Leo Chaput is used to working with his hands.
I'll be starting over there.
A retired boilermaker, designing, welding, and fixing. He does it all, with one stipulation.
We have a rule with Leo. He's always willing to help inside, but he doesn't like working outside in the cold.
So he spends his time here in the warm Rotary Light Shop, making sure the displays light up before they go out in the cold.
This one's going to be lit. When it goes off, this will light up.
Leo's been volunteering his time here for the last 20 years. He started just a week after he retired. It's also the 20th year of one of the most popular displays.
So I came to the first meeting and they were talking about the dragon that they had. There was about 4 feet by 8 feet long. And they said, we got to make a new one. They retired that thing and they were saying that at the meeting. And I said, I can make you a nice big dragon. So I drew one. 32 feet long and 12 feet high. And I thought, holy cow, I just got in trouble here. So I went to work, and 3 weeks later I had the dragon.
And he hasn't slowed down since. He estimates he's put in 9,000 volunteer hours. The work usually starts in October to prep for the November start date. This year, it started even earlier because last year's storm damaged multiple displays.
By now I probably made maybe 75 different animations.
It's safe to say every display you see at Rotary Lights has either been created or fixed by Leo. He's currently making one for the Jet Ski Club.
The need is there. Somebody's got to do it. And if I'm able to do it, I definitely do it.
At almost 79 years old and no plans to slow down, Leo lives by some rather straightforward words.
If you stop working, you're going to die. I got to get a power cord here.
Without the work and the many volunteers willing to help, Rotary Lights wouldn't be where it is today. And this year, if you go out and enjoy the lights, think of Leo and all the work he's put in to make the lights shine.
The Kendall librarians are living up to the library slogan, "There's no place like it."
Because we're at the library, I think people know we're accessible. You know, and I say we're a full-service library.
Right now, Sally and Lynette are making more than 150 goodie bags to give away for the holidays. They also organize things like movie nights, cookie walks, fundraisers, knitting groups, and book clubs, to name a few. But they also go above and beyond for members of the Kendall community.
Things come to us, and we just try and fill their needs.
You don't think about not having a car or not being able to see well enough to drive. And, you know, in a rural area, you're stuck.
So, Sally and Lynette let people borrow their car, help bring food from the food pantries, really anything you need. They can do it, or find someone who can.
We probably do a few things that some people think we're crazy.
Lynette doesn't know the word no.
Truthfully, I wouldn't want it to be any other way.
So, if you make it to the Kendall Library, remember, there's no place like it, because there's no one else quite like Lynette and Sally. Stay with us for more Jefferson Award stories.
Eight times 4.
At Spence Elementary, math is a little different in the 4th grade class.
Math isn't always an easy subject for kids, and he makes every one of them love math, and that's the cool part.
Mr. Markworth is the teacher, and every Monday he has a special guest.
And how many would there be in a row, you think?
It's really fun when Dr. K comes.
Dr. K is short for Dr. Larry Krajewski, the man who makes math fun for kids.
Because I like how you can have to think out of the box. I think he's really helping everybody think through a lot more problems, because they sometimes come up with an answer that's like wrong and they can do it really fast, but you need to think through the problem to get the right answer.
Solving problems and finding solutions is nothing new to Larry, who spent his career teaching math at Viterbo University. And for the past 30 years, he's been volunteering his time and talents to help students not only learn, but possibly like math.
I love mathematics, and I love to get students excited about math and show them that it's not a difficult subject and it has a lot of interesting parts to it. And it's enjoyable.
He literally is someone who will bring joy of math into every child.
Dr. K takes a difficult problem and comes up with what he calls a brain teaser to help challenge students to use their imagination to come up with the right answer.
He's really challenged me to learn new things.
Math has always been an easy and enjoyable subject for Dr. K, and something he excelled at.
And when I was in high school, when they gave a math test, they always put me in the back row so no one would copy from me.
But Dr. K's math talent could be seen way before that.
When I was in 3rd grade, it was a split classroom. Half the class was 3rd grade, half the class was 4th. And when I was in 3rd grade, I'd listen to what they were doing in 4th grade, so I skipped over to 4th grade.
You could say Dr. K's life has come full circle. And he wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, people have different strengths, and I think it's good that they share that with other people. And my strength is mathematics, and so it's just enjoyable to do that.
Let's start out with people that think that they don't have time or they don't have a talent. Everybody does. Everybody can do something. Everyone has a gift that they're able to share with someone that's in need.
One of Michelle S.B. Jones's gifts is playing the piano. She's been playing since she was young. She plays at church and volunteers to play at many events. But her talents are twofold.
This one's going to be gifted today.
Michelle spends countless hours making quilts. Lots and lots of quilts. She says more than 500.
The quilt started when I was working with a lady that was a quilt maker, and she'd bring me her quilts, and I loved them, and I said, I think I should start doing this. As soon as I tried it, hooked. I'm like, I'm never gonna stop, and I haven't. I just started making them, and of course giving them to my family and friends, and then pretty soon my family would be like, oh, I get another quilt. I started thinking, well, life is hard. A lot of people have a lot of things going on in their life. What could I do to make it better?
She volunteers her time, money, and talents to make people smile. People she notices may be having a hard time.
Every week on her Facebook, I would see another quilt that she had gifted to someone. And I sew myself and quilt, and I know how much expense and how much time goes into making a quilt. This is a really big undertaking for her to give so many of these and to make so many of these.
Michelle's childhood friend and fellow Jefferson Award winner Jackie Getter nominated her and sees firsthand the impact of Michelle's kindness.
I think of all the people that got one of these quilts and probably think that someone cared enough to take the time and to spend the money to make a beautiful quilt and give it just out of the goodness of their heart.
And if I can make it a little bit easier for somebody, even for a few minutes, it's definitely worth it.
I'm a preacher's daughter, and so when I was growing up, a lot of different people inspired me.
Maury Weiland's dad started a food pantry as his mission work. One reason she was drawn to the Hunger Task Force.
All right, let me take a look what I'm going to do next.
Another reason is people. As a former social worker, she's heard firsthand the stories of people who struggle.
You know, a woman with 5 children going to appointments and using the public transportation system, you know, how is she going to do that unless we support her?
It's those memories and relationships that keep her focused and motivated to volunteer.
It restores me, it motivates me. It connects me to so many wonderful people throughout La Crosse.
While it's been said that it's better to give than receive, Maury says it's when she's giving back that she's actually getting the most in return.
Volunteering is like a gift I give to myself.
I would call Maury a stealth humanitarian because she sneaks in and helps out before anybody can notice. And then she leaves, and then she keeps going in her stealth mode.
She works behind the scenes at places like New Horizons, coordinating and organizing food donations at the shelter.
It runs so smoothly. It's just like Maury knows what to do. Maury knows what to do. Staff is really able to do exactly what the clients need because Maury's taking care of the stuff in the background.
With Maury working tirelessly, many local organizations are better off.
I think, how does Maury find the time to do what she does for us when she's so busy doing for other people too?
So, while you may not see her on the front lines volunteering, she's probably there in the background. Her heart, drive, her motivation keep her going, and Maury wouldn't have it any other way.
It's just another day for Lisbeth Reinertsen.
We need to help give good impression and help people as much as we can.
It's another meal.
You want some lunches?
And maybe something to drink for a person in need. Lisbeth has served countless meals here as a faithful volunteer.
I'm happy every time I get there, and people are so happy for the help they get.
Helping people makes Lisbeth happy, and that's one reason she's volunteering here for more than 15 years.
God bless you, they say that. We get blessed a lot. That's my joy, to I get enjoyment out of it.
A joy she's been spreading to her neighbors, who are also volunteering because Lizbeth asked them to.
She just has a gift for seeing what other needs there are and how can she respond to them. And then she gets other people involved.
Connecting with other people is Lizbeth's specialty. Originally from Denmark, she moved to La Crosse in 1986 and worked in the International Students Office at UW La Crosse.
She was just so warm and kind and loving, and I was immediately drawn to her.
Goya stayed with Lizbeth and her husband in 2019. It was the first time she left Pakistan.
I felt like I was a part of a family, and I truly felt like this sense of belonging that came so unexpectedly. She brings people together.
We're a host family for students from Pakistan, from Hong Kong, from Vietnam.
It's her calmness and her gentleness and her kindness and just the love that she brings to everything she does.
Whether it's making a meal with an international student or giving meals to people in need, Lizbeth finds a way to make others feel loved, welcome, and special. Something we all deserve a little more of. If you'd like to nominate someone, go to wxow.com/Jefferson Awards and look for the nomination form on that page. Thanks for joining us.
And have a good evening.